This is one of the few black and white prints that he did. Toward the end of his life, he did some black and white prints called templos. Paisaje Nocturno is sort of like a black and white print version of sort of like this style of painting. Hello everybody, this is Mike Gerzso. I'd like to talk about a print, an etching called in Spanish Paisaje Nocturno, which in English means night or nighttime landscape. It's done in the style which he's usually known for. It's black and white, which is unusual. He rarely did black and white prints except toward the end of his life, which was a series called Templos, a collection. But other than that, this is, probably the only one. It's done within his style, which I like to call Altiplano, which in English means high plains, and that refers to the center of Mexico, which is very high, like in Denver. And it's dry, and also refers to the cultures of the area before the conquest. All right, and so he was very much inspired by that type of stuff. So this is the point many times where YouTube people talk about their sponsors. I don't have a sponsor. I noticed that I have 58 subscribers, which kind of surprised me. I mean, I knew I had a couple, but I didn't have so many. And so I greatly appreciate that, and maybe motivates me to do more. But this part of the commercial part of the infomercial, you might say, is I do have some of these pieces to sell, and so I've had them now for over 25 years. I got them when they closed down the studio, part of the inheritance or whatever, or gifts, and so it's time to sell. They do hold their value. They are works of art which retain their value. They're prints. I mean, there's a video I did about what a print is. It's a limited edition, signed by the artist in numbers, and once the edition is, the production is finished, that's the end of that. It's never produced again. There's never a resumption or, version 2 or whatever. That is what it is. And so I have several pieces, and I think it's time to sell them. If you go on the internet, you can see that prints, the Gerzso prints, the price is fairly competitive. So there's a link below. You can go to the website www.jmgerzso.art, and it'll go directly to the print on my website. And there's all the other information that, in case you're interested. This is the print Paisaje Nocturno. It's black and white. It's within the style that he's known, which is this abstract style, which I like to call Altiplano, which is also a term in Spanish. The direct translation is high plains, but it doesn't have really the same flavor. Altiplano refers to the cultures of the high plains, which is around Mexico City, before the conquest. Okay, and my father used this artwork is based on this, let's say, visual language, all right, or architectural language. And it's sort of suggesting of buildings. In this case, it's a landscape of buildings, in the evening, all right? And maybe if he was alive today, I'd agree with it, but certainly he based his artwork on that type of architecture. I chopped off the top. This is the data. Okay, so it's 1986, which is, in the mid of his career. This is etching aquatint. Basically it's a 1 zinc plate, all right? It's 23 by 13 inches. I mean, the piece, the image, I didn't get around to measuring it. Again, I put down here, it's not AI. And the catalog number is my catalog number. Now, usually, this is an example what he did, later in life. It's called Tiempo y Espacio. It's an oil painting. And so, this was this well-known style. And so, Paisaje Nocturno is sort of like a black and white print version of sort of like this style of painting. Okay, and as I say, it's inspired in Aztec and Toltec, and that's what this painting is. And also the other one, the print, not so much Maya. There are other ones that are more inspired by Maya. Okay, so to get an idea what it looks like, let's say this is a computer rendering that I do since I'm an architect, and I did a lot of CAD. So you can, in CAD and architecture, you do rendering. So although this is not AI, doesn't exist. This is a image invented by a computer. We do what we call 3D modeling, and then they have all these ways of, doing textures and stuff out the window to make it look like it's the garden, whatever. But the interesting thing is that here I'm talking about his painting or his artwork, and his artwork was inspired or very much influenced by his practice as a set designer when he's in the movies. So I didn't think of this until later. So in the sense, I'm doing a virtual set design to illustrate what his print will look like, at a little dinner table in an apartment here while they're having their coffee cake and coffee. Okay. Anyway, but AI did not do this. I did this. Like in the Nambolom thing that I did previously, now for architects, this is an everyday, everybody in architecture does this all the time. So it's not,